Welcome back, people. Was I here last week?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I can't keep the week straight.
I'm
in different time zones and all over the darn place.
California for a couple days.
Yep.
And then when I walked by you just a few minutes ago, you looked like you were off to do something way more important than this. And so don't forget the chair for the podcast.
Yeah. It's been, I'm trying to get back on East Coast time. I went to the gym yesterday. I thought I was going to die. It was I went to 4:30. It was a run 1,600 meters and then 100-foot burpee broad jumps into sled push. And our gym, the way it's set up, they've got like the regular pinnacle mats, the diamonds, but then they have the other like Tractor Supply mats halfway through, and so the sled moves, and like just stops. And I went to that very dark place, and then it was one of those like, well, do I push through it and get through it, or do you quit? And I quit. Still finished the workout, but quit on it, which makes it 10 times harder. Yeah, it was terrible. So hopefully I'll have a better showing today. I'm gonna see what the workout is.
Yeah, so you were mountain time zone for 10 days. Came back, then went out to what is that, Pacific time?
Yeah,
came back. What's
Yeah.
next? You gonna be here for a little while?
I don't know.
You guys going to
I hope
Helen,
so.
right? In mid-September.
I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna have time to go.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So.
And then today you did an Instagram live. Was that I saw showing off the tchotchkes?
Yeah, I made a video for the channel to kind of wrap up the giveaway, finish that up, and it really just talk about. It's been a while since I've talked to people about the business aspect of a giveaway. How does it work? What are the numbers? Share with people how to do it, and then talk about some of the items and why, and explain why we don't just open up the whole store. Why it doesn't work. And so that video will be out today. Apparently, I'm tired. I slept until I got up to go to the gym at 4, and then I went back to sleep. So, yeah, not doing great.
Still all by yourself at the Darlington house?
Yeah. Yep. So the Darlington house is sold. Rusty's bought it.
Nice.
So we'll be changing ownership here in the next few months as he sells his house and gets that taken care of. But they're going to move in a few weeks, so we're moving out.
It's an easy move for you. You get like 3 paintings and a cowboy hat.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but we're like several truckloads in, and it still keeps going. Like, what the heck? And I was talking to the closet guys today about getting me the closets. So all our stuff is like laying on the floor. Oh, dang. All right. Pep it up, Matt.
All right.
Liven up.
Somebody bring us a Mountain Dew.
Shoot.
Mountain Dew. Let's see. Our buddy Dan Pfeiffer, Good afternoon from Minnesota. Happy Friday, OG crew. Hope everyone has a great holiday weekend. This is your reminder that Monday is Labor Day.
Oh, yeah.
Paid holiday, so if you come here, don't be surprised.
I'm not getting paid for it.
when the parking lot's empty.
Okay.
I always have to remind Matt about those days. Nick didn't know it was Labor Day either.
I have no idea. Yeah. No frame of reference for that.
Brian says he thoroughly enjoyed the microfiber 4.0 video. A lot of people like that 2-hour talk about towels. That's good.
I forgot we'd even made that video, and I think it gives people a look into the current anger of the internet is that I say, and maybe people can put some comments in here. Tell me what you think about this. I know most of the time if something's good just by looking at it. People are real mad at me saying that. I can't believe people are this dense. I set them up for this. I love tools. I love collecting tools. I love putting. Let me rephrase. I don't like the collecting. I like the structure of having an organized drawer with all the proper tools. That's what I've always dreamt of. Always envisioned having this, basically a sonic setup or a tool grid setup. And then if I'm going to have a set of tools, I want a complete set of tools. But I would argue the goal of having tools is to not need them. Like, I want to be prepared for an earthquake, but I don't want an earthquake to come. I want to have tools when I do, and I inevitably am going to need to use them, and need to use them, quite often. But I don't like using them. I don't want to have to use them. And so if I am going to work on something, I would prefer to have an excellent experience. And so my goal is to not use tools. My goal is to not have to polish my paint. I don't want to have to polish my paint. I want to wash it properly. I want to buy nice things, nice cars, so I don't have to work on them if I don't want to. In a perfect world, you'd have a perfectly modified car where everything was already done. And you can just buy it right from the factory, but it doesn't really exist. And so you're always having to use tools. I get paint, and when you wash the paint, you mar it over time, and so you're going to have to polish it. I love polishers and collecting and organizing and figuring out what the best polisher is, so when I do inevitably have to polish the paint, that it's as good of an experience as possible. But I freaking hate polishing. It's terrible. I don't want to do that. I don't want to detail. I don't want to do the detail. I want the result of the detail. I want the result of having the organized tools in a drawer. And so when I say I don't want to use tools, people are like, see, he doesn't know anything. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, what do you... I guarantee you that I've spent more time doing research on tools than anybody you've ever met in your entire life. Forget mechanics. They've done zero research. They just get what they get. This whole nonsense about people, assuming that your mechanic is like the ultimate source of anything is nonsense. They're getting sold by somebody like me at the end of the day. So wouldn't you rather have somebody who's obsessed with this stuff selling? So I'm just going to keep telling the truth instead of it'd be better if I just kept the stuff to myself. Like, look, sometimes I don't need to touch something. I don't even need to see it. Just tell me about it. Describe it to me, and I can tell you if it's going to be any good or not. All I do is spend my entire life researching and getting things in my possession, using things like tools, like polishers, and I can usually tell if I'm going to like it or not. And the struggle that the blue-collar world has is that a white-collar guy could know anything. Well, while you were freaking laying on the couch or on vacation, your 4 weeks of vacation a year, I'm working. I'm learning. I'm figuring stuff out. So don't give me that nonsense that I don't know what I'm talking about. And, you got so mad at me for saying I'm a pro-level detailer. Do you think I couldn't, become a detailer, tomorrow and be really good at it? For gosh sakes, people are so stupid. That's my current rant today.
Good. All right, we have a super chat. This will cheer you up.
Okay.
$9.99 towards your future fledgling detailing business.
Yeah, I should never come into the podcast after digging through all my YouTube comments, getting that organized. Yeah.
Colin Campbell says, I hope I win the garage giveaway. I live in a community 3 miles from the Atlantic Ocean in Maryland. Mm-hmm. Our community restaurant is a Ruth's Chris, so we could take care of Matt and Mike and Mike.
Nice.
There you go. All right, Colin, we're pulling for you then.
So then the next thing, people were like, well, you're so arrogant. No, I'm just telling you the truth. I love tools. I like them. I don't like using them. But if I'm going to use them, I want it to be great. Isn't that what we'd all aspire to have? Not have to use tools. I wish my car, I got perfect cars and I never have to use them. But that doesn't usually work out. But if you're forced to use tools, or if you're buying junk old cars, why would that make you better? That doesn't make any sense. Doesn't that make you worse? I don't know. What do I know? Just catalogs. Catalogs of information.
Let's see. Our buddy Philippe up in Canada says, hello, everyone from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. I hope I win the garage giveaway. OG has got to make a Canadian edition hat for us. Yes, Philippe. A hat and some shirts are in the works at some point. Ganesh has a good question I think you'll like here. I want to buy a house.
Okay.
What are the things I should check before buying the house?
I get in trouble with this with Michelle all the time. I'm like, let's just get it and I'll figure it out later.
Fix it?
Oh. Yeah, we'll fix it. It depends on your means, right, and where you're at in life. If you're just buying your first house, then chances are you're not going to have the means that, if the air conditioner is going to blow up next week, that you're going to have 20 G's laying around to change it, or money to swap the roof. So you want to try to find a decent property inspector, house inspect. You get an inspection, but request to do it with them, so you can kind of crawl around the attic with them and use your own eyes to see, because a lot of times they miss stuff. Like the Helen house, the whole side of the house was rotted where the hose bib was, and the one side of the house we had to replace. And they didn't. How did they not catch that? What was the point? I paid some guy $1,000 to go and inspect the darn thing, and and he didn't find the thing that cost me tons of money to fix. So I think you want to go on that inspection with the inspector, so you pay $500, $600, $800 to have that done. And I know the pricing's gone up on that a lot over the years. It used to be like $180. You can have an inspector come out and do it. $300, have them come out and do it. I think they charge a lot more now. And then that'll give you an opportunity to crawl around the attic and look for leaks and inspect the quality of the roof. And depending on how old the house is, and you're asking questions, how old's the HVAC system, how old's the roof. The problem is a lot of times you're going to make a decision like, I don't want them fixing it. But if it's something major, then I would negotiate that out of the deal. Like the roof on this building. But you don't want them fixing it. You want to fix it yourself or get your people to fix it, because they're going to cut corners. It's just only human nature. So, I think those are the things you're looking for. You want to really understand, go and learn how millage rate works. Like, how do they calculate property tax in your area? How do they reassess? Like North Carolina doesn't reassess on the new purchase. Most states will reassess. So you'll get a new appraisal. The state of Florida generally values your house at 93% of purchase price. That's the number that they generally use for the property tax value or base. And then learn about how, like in Florida, how millage rate works, where it's a certain dollar per thousand of value. If you don't know how to calculate a mortgage, if you don't know how to do an amortization schedule or use it like a 10B2 calculator, learn how to use an HP 10B2 or an HP 12C or something like that. Learn how to use a financial calculator to calculate mortgage rates and mortgage payments. So call and find out what your insurance is going to be. Make sure you can fit that all into what you're going to spend. And then I'm much more interested in shopping for a great banking relationship rather than trying to get 0.1% off from some jank bank. So, I'm going to look for a bank that I could, build a long-term relationship with, and just go with, with their rate, assuming it's not like, 0.5% higher than everybody else. So those are the things that I'm considering when I'm looking at a house.
Let's see. Woodworks USA says, Chris, how do I sign up for the paid YouTube vlogs? I can find the videos, but can't find how to sign up anywhere. I had no idea, so I just clicked on Obsessed Garage on YouTube channel.
And click join right next to subscribed.
Look at the hex, go to the right, it says subscribed, and to the right of that it says join. Click there, and then join again, and you should be good to go.
That's it.
So, thanks, Woodworks. I'm sure some other people might have wondered. Glamby says, Chris, how did you meet Matt? What's the story there? We met at the gym in 2012-ish. And actually, I tell the story, I met Michelle first because she was way more friendly and outgoing than Matt was. And eventually I started talking to Matt at some point.
Yeah, people meet Michelle like, oh, maybe he's not, can't be that bad if she likes him. So. Because I'm there for business. Right? I mean business when I'm there, And then I'm usually talkative and friends with the other people that mean business. Otherwise, I don't really pay attention to people, and otherwise complain about them being in my way.
Rick says, bathroom faucet brand or model recommendation?
You can't go wrong heading the Kohler route. Kohler has a lot of different options. I would probably head down that path for your faucets. Waterstone has one, but they only have one, and the style I don't think fits most people's style. Another company to look at is Rohl, ROHL. I'm a big fan of Rohl. I don't think I've never. Newport Brass is another a family of products that I'm interested in, but I haven't really headed down that path of bathroom faucets. It's such a simple thing that Delta, Moen, Kohler. I mean, there's not much to it, so it's pretty easy to do a decent job there. And they're almost all metal, right? So you don't have to worry about getting plastic stuff generally, and even in the mid end. So I think it comes down to the style you're looking for rather than looking for something super high end. Now the shower head makes a lot more difference to me, having a decent shower head.
Invasion HD says, has OG ever had a giveaway where someone didn't want to be on camera? If someone won the garage giveaway and didn't want to be on camera, does that disqualify them?
No. I mean, not a garage giveaway, but John's garage in Atlanta, he wasn't on camera at all, so we could easily work around it where you don't have to be on camera.
For sure. Let's see here. Hey, Matt, I have a G80 M3. It's from Joshua Woods. Okay. I'm thinking about purchasing the racing shift knob. How much better is it over stock? And will you be doing an install video on it anytime soon? Thanks.
I mean, it's super, super easy to, just unscrew yours and screw the next one on. I'm pretty sure it'll fit a G80. I mean, it should fit. All BMWs, I think, have the same thread pitch on the shifter. I mean, you literally just unscrew your other, or on the BMW, it might pull off, and so that's where the adapter. So yeah, I guess with the adapter, it should fit any shifter, right? Because that's right, the threads are on that shaft, right? So that little adapter piece. So the adapter piece is set with a set screw. That's right. So this will fit anything. Yeah, I mean, you really won't need. I'm telling you, it's so easy. You won't need an install video, but it's like probably 5 times heavier than your stock shift knob, which makes the shift feel better.
It's stout.
Yeah.
Obsessed Detailing Services says, do you have any recommendations for bikes, preferably $1,000 or under?
Yeah, you're asking the wrong guy on that one. I mean, pretty much all the major brands have a decent, entry level $800, $900 bicycle, Giant, Trek. If you're looking at mountain bikes, Santa Cruz, Yeti. Yeti doesn't have one that low. Maybe Santa Cruz doesn't either. But they almost all those brands, they'd have a sister brand too that would be on the entry level. And I tell you what, $1,000 bike, road bike or mountain bike now is so much better than it was once in the past. Big difference between like a $300 bike at or $200 bike at like a Dick's Sporting Goods or at a Walmart or a Target or something like that than if you go to a bike shop and buy an entry level bike, because the entry level SRAM Shimano components are really great. In the old days, it would have been junk, to have the big. There was a huge delta between lower end components and high end components. Now you're paying a lot of money for a few grams of weight, because the function of like GX drivetrain and below on SRAM, and whatever Shimano's entry level drivetrains are, can be great.
So this is neat. This is the first time this has happened. Colin Campbell, and then Woodworks USA, he's the one who asked about it. They joined Inside the Hex on YouTube, and it popped up a little.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so
heck yeah.
Thanks, Colin. And
I'm working on a vlog today, so I should have one up tomorrow.
Let's see here. Will there be any new products added for the last 2 days of the giveaway?
Nope.
We are where we are. Wash and Shine Garage. I like his point here. He said, I love the microfiber 4.0 video from yesterday. Great to see you being the buyer instead of the seller. There was good insight. You're a very tough customer. Very immediately a yes or no on a lot of things. That was fun.
Yeah, I think that's the value prop, right? Is to want to have a relationship with a vendor that will let me do it. Let me be me and say, look, I don't like this, I don't like that, and then share it, and then the decision making process and showing people how I come up with these decisions. Some of it's gut, some of it's just feel, some of it's it's all subjective technically, but my subjective has a lot more attached to it, then I wish it did. I wish I could just accept it.
Woodworks USA, a note here on the whole joining thing. It said, thanks. FYI, it looks like Join only is available via browser, not the YouTube app on iOS. So I don't know Woodworks. We'll have to look at that. Let's see. Hey, Matt, home theater question.
Okay.
I've got Monitor Audio Gold 200 series towers.
Nice.
Plus center channel.
Yep.
Along with an REL acoustic subs.
Yep. I'd
like to know your thoughts on a Dirac connection software, by wiring / amping. Any thoughts on how you might drive the above reference setup? Would you power the towers separately, or is the onboard power in the NAD sufficient?
I mean, you're not going to get the full capability of those. Those speakers are probably low 90s sensitivity. So, at 2 volts or 2.83 volts, you're going to want more power than what which amp which receiver did he say? A T778 or a 758? He didn't say that, right? No. So I'm assuming he's talking about like an NAD receiver. I would want some supplemental power for that. So the monitors are bi-wireable or bi-ampable. Any speaker is going to sound better with more power. And so it comes down to what amps do you have, how much money you're willing to spend on amplifiers. Would you rather bi-wire them or bi-amp them? Bi-wire is always great. I mean, you have to spend quite a bit of money to get a bi-wire cabling setup. So you will waste a little bit of money there. But I always liked bi-wiring my speakers. I don't know that I could ever really hear the difference, but it was always something I enjoy doing. So if those aren't familiar, you have your left and let's say you have your positive, negative output in your receiver, and then the way that they twist the wires, you would have I believe it's thicker core cabling, and a lot of this one would argue is snake oil sales type stuff. But the way that they wind or twist the wire, theoretically you have a better wire type for high frequency and a better wire type for low frequency. And so what you're essentially doing is you're taking on the back of a speaker, you'll have two sets of positive, negative, and you'll have a clip that connects the two. And so you take that connection clip out and use bi-wire, and you're able to get theoretically a cleaner signal to your speaker. Most would argue it's nonsense. I think it's cool. I'd always liked it. The other thing you could do is you could bi-amp a speaker, which means that you would have, let's say you had a 2-channel amplifier for your left speaker. You send the RCA connections to your 2-channel amplifier, so you send just the left signal and you split it, or depending on your amplifier, it'll just split it internally, and then you send one set, one channel of power to the highs and one channel to the lows, and so you have a single amplifier that's bi-amplifying a speaker, or maybe you have separate amplifiers. You have the monoblock amplifier that's bi-amplifying each high and low section of the speaker. So that's something you can consider. I think, if you have a T778, with that level of speakers and subwoofer, you're probably going to want separates. So I would want an M17, or I would want a what's Marantz's an AV70 from Anthem. Marantz's flagship processor is, I think, what is their? I think it's the Cinema 10 or something like that. I think it's called. So you'd have the Marantz Cinema 10. So you'd want a legit processor, and then you can just choose your amplifiers. In a perfect world, you'd have a monoblock amp for each individual section of each speaker. So you'd have 2 monoblocks to the left, 2 monoblocks for the right, a monoblock for the center if that's bi-wireable or bi-ampable, and so you got 6 monoblocks. But then that's a bit ridiculous. So yeah, I think you had to add a little more context. How much money are we talking about here?
So yeah, give us a number.
You could do something like I forget what the model number is for the other thing I always thought was really cool was if you get a tube amplifier for the highs and then a solid state amplifier for the lows. And so Macintosh has a integrated monoblock amp that has a biamp capability where it's tube for the highs and solid state for the lows. That'd be super cool.
Greg Fritz has a coding question here.
Okay.
Last weekend, I coded my polished car with CSL and then EXO.
Mm-hmm.
Waited 12 hours between.
Okay.
Prior to application of coding, I cleaned each panel with an IPA solution.
Okay.
To my dismay, I noticed spotting on every panel after the EXO. Any idea where I might have gone wrong?
I don't know. That's weird. Could have been a bad bottle. Yeah, I've never had that.
Moving NYX says, hey guys, will the black and white bucket package be removed from the store once the garage giveaway is over? I know we can buy it by piece, but not looking forward to apply the stickers. Crooked myself.
Yes, for a while until we get it set up in the future. So probably about 6 months or so.
Luke wants to know, do we announce the giveaway winner live?
Yep. I think we'll probably do it Friday.
Yeah,
on
next Friday.
On the podcast, likely.
Yeah, and I just asked Tommy and Bryce about what's the best way to do that, because in the past we've had that TV behind us where we can see it, so we're coming up with an idea for that. Let's see. TGR Ghost Rider says, I love the new hats and the Helen t-shirt.
Yeah, the hats are so good, man.
They really are.
It's like the first day I haven't worn a hat in a long time.
Greg had the issue with EXO, says, P.S. the LE polisher works amazingly well.
Yeah, it's good.
All right. Hoping I win the giveaway. Oh, this is Barbecue Jones. Gary Jones out in Arizona. He's getting greedy. He won the shopping spree last year. Hoping I win the giveaway so I can get all the Russo cabinets and then tools. Since I've already got a head start on most things in the garage, would y'all also fix up my home theater room? Ha ha ha. We'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, Gary. I believe you like Ubiquity, says Chris. They now have an amplifier. Are you interested?
Interesting. Yeah, maybe.
Veerless says, hey, Matt and Chris, question for Matt. How would you hypothetically invest in a brokerage account with a goal of one day living off of the dividends each month/year? These podcasts are gold, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the whole point of having assets. You save assets, and then the assets will generate something for you. You got to be careful chasing income only. An income only portfolio will have some disadvantages. I think you want more balance. So some dividend, I would rather create a dividend, right? So I'd rather get the best overall rate of return, which will include some dividend, some growth, some things that are more stable than others, right? Some things are more aggressive than others. But as you're building, using modern portfolio theory to build some sort of asset allocation, you're gonna have assets allocated toward international and growth and value and small cap and large cap and and some dividend producing, some not. And then you just choose what you want to take. And a traditional withdrawal rate on a portfolio of a specific account, let's say, is 4%. So I have a high probability of success if I have a sort of a 60-40 or more aggressive portfolio, depending on the exact sequence of returns. Meaning, let's say you retired in 1999. That person had a much more difficult time in retirement because he had a terrible starting sequence of returns. 2000, 2001, 2002 likely lost 10, 20, 30, 40% of the portfolio while starting to withdraw. So that person is going to eventually spend through the money, right around death. But if you retired in 2002 and you had 03, 04, 05, 06, 07, then 08 hit, but you had 5 years of a bull market that your sequence of returns was positive. It might have been extremely positive. So you retired and started withdrawing when, the performance of the markets was positive. Same thing. Okay, let's say I retired in in 2010. That would have been perfect. You've had a 15-year bull market essentially, where you've had almost no negative, very few 10% corrections throughout that 14-year period. You had a really Goldilocks start of retirement, or start of whenever your withdrawals started. So you'd have you may have been able to take a 6, 7, 8% withdrawal rate. But where the mistake comes in is that if you buy a bunch of high dividend producing investments, but then they depreciate in value, they paid great dividends, but they depreciated a bunch, and you spend all your dividends, your portfolio value may have fallen 50% over the course of a 10-year withdrawal period. So I had always urged and cautioned people, you don't put all your eggs in one basket. You're not going to go buy a portfolio of high yield bonds only and take all the money, and you're likely going to see depreciation in the corpus or the principal of the portfolio. So I think you want to balance and then create a withdrawal rate, and depending on what your goal is with that money, on what probability you want to work with. If you take a 10% withdrawal rate, your probability of running out of money is very, very high. If you take a 3% withdrawal rate, your probability of running out of money is very, very slim. And so what I see a lot of people would do in the past, they just chase dividends. They like dividends. They hope that's the best way to build a portfolio. And sometimes it can work, but I don't like sometimes. I want all the time for it to work. So that my suggestion is to just frickin' hire somebody. Tell them how much you want. When how much do you think you're going to need? Let them do some Monte Carlo simulations, and then you can usually nail it. If you aren't stupid about it and you make irrational decisions, if you invest a certain amount, so you dollar cost average into it, or you put a certain amount of money with the person regularly. And even if they're not so good at picking mutual funds and ETFs and stocks and bonds and stuff like that, even if they're not very good at it, if it's say an 80-20 portfolio while you're acquiring, and you're going to have some major drawdowns, if you have some really bad years and you can muster up putting, maybe double up your investment, that'll really pay off in the long run. But if you don't panic sell and do stupid crap and come up with cockamamie schemes, the chance of failure is pretty slim.
We got 2 super chats here. $4.99 from Improved Garage. Did you see the new nodes with XLR and Dirac? Looks like the 658 might no longer get needed.
Yeah, 658's going away. I'm going to simplify all the packages. The other thing about the Node icon that's really interesting is it has USB-C input, so it now can become my laptop dongle or my laptop DAC. And so I'm going to have nodes in all of our the regular node doesn't have USB-C in or USB in that's non-service. And so the node icon that has USB-C is amazing. And then the node has Dirac. So the base node for $550, I think they're going to have like an $80 subscription supposedly, and that would be able to be Dirac tuned. And so, a set of LYDs and a node is going to be amazing. So I've got to put together a bunch of packages to sell off all the stuff that I have, because we're going to simplify our packages, because there's very specific versions of these that I think people should buy. So I'm going to take a lot of the choice away and make it simpler.
The other super chat from MWF80, $100 US. Have a great weekend, guys.
Oh, thanks, man.
Thank you. We'll split that. Thanks, MW. Let's see. Recently, Matt mentioned that polishing the PPF removes the self-healing properties. Could you explain more why/how that happens?
Well, I don't know that it removes, but you're going to be removing some material. You're going to be using an abrasive on the surface. So if you go to like S-Tech's website and you look at the, how they laminate, it's a bunch of different layers that they put together in their process of creating the film. So I don't know if it's eliminating. I'm assuming it would. You're taking some material away. That's the self-healing and hydrophobic top layer or coating that they put on the plastic. I mean, that would make sense to me. That's the first thing that's the thing that I'm affecting, and then I'm going and putting something else on top in place of that. So, or even if I didn't remove that top layer of the PPF, or at least put a dent in it, I'm putting something else on top of it anyway, and so that's going to sort of take over for that. And so I would think that the self-healing and the hydrophobic top coat is largely the thing affected by me polishing it. So, I mean, I haven't done any science. I haven't put like in an electron microscope, but I'm just making an educated assumption here that we're gonna mess that layer up, which I don't care about because I want my coating on there. I'm much more concerned with my PPF being the protection layer, protecting the paint underneath. I don't really care much about self-healing. I don't care much because I'm not going to do things that need self-healing. And I don't care much about the top coat because I'm going to put a better coating on top of the PPF.
Clap9 says, "Hey Matt, I want to get a water softener / filtration for my house.
Mm-hmm.
Which systems do you recommend?"
You can. I've had great success with Kinetico. I actually did a local potassium chloride based softener at my house. It was just to try out. It was half the money of Kinetico. It's from a company called Pegasus, which is just a local company. And but we've always done Kinetico systems at our houses. It's a good bet. It's about $5,000.
Anthony has a suggestion here for some Canadian merchandise. Would it be bad to make a Canadian flag logo hat with a hex in the middle instead of the leaf?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they'd mind. Canadians are nice people.
Yeah.
How long, Jeremy wants to know, before the newly reformed Matt gets a Peloton?
That's not happening. I did buy a skateboard, though.
Oh.
Yeah.
How's Carnivore going this week? Good?
Great.
Nice.
Yep.
Last week it wasn't going so well.
No, it was bad. It was Carnivore plus. It wasn't even Carnivore. It was just eat whatever.
Just the plus.
It was bad. But yeah, I got remotivated. So
good.
I was when I was in California, I went to visit APG, Automotive Performance Group. I wanted to see the Bronco in person and make a decision of if I wanted to build one or not. And so we flew out to Los Angeles, stayed in Long Beach, and then he was in Garden Grove. That's where King Shocks and APG and a bunch of other manufacturers are. And so we went to visit George, and the first day I just wanted to see the shop and see them in person. Second day we went out for a little drive, and I made a decision on whether I was going to buy it or not. And so we went to the first day, we were done at like 2 o'clock, and then I made a video, so video will be up here soon. And then we had the rest of the day, so George said, well, you should go to Pacific City, Huntington Beach. And so we went down there and walking around, and the great news for the world is that the next generation is completely lost. They're not wearing nut-hugging pants anymore. They're going back to the old style. The girls that are working there, like their pants are back to like normal instead of pulled up to their armpits. Okay. And the guys are wearing like like traditional old school skate jeans and stuff. I was like, yeah, thank goodness. And this is like Santa Cruz, Laguna, Huntington Beach. This is where style in America gets set. It just takes several years for it to make it to New Jersey. And to Columbus, Ohio, it takes a while for it to get there, but that was good news. And so I got inspired. I'm like, I'm gonna get a freaking skateboard.
So did you buy one out there?
Yeah. I bought it. I bought it unassembled so I can put it together. Maybe I should make a video. I'll make a video putting the board together. See if I can remember how to do it. I'll have to go watch some YouTube videos. Remind me how to do. I think I remember how to do the grip tape. You scuff the edge, razor blade around. Obviously, putting the trucks on are simple. I got some Bones bearings again. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I probably need a couple of hours. I could probably kickflip.
We definitely need that on video. Alkaline Taupe Hat says, I don't know if this has already been covered, but Does living in Alaska affect the garage giveaway? EJ.
Yeah, it affects the amount of money I have to spend.
He says, does shipping eat into the garage build budget?
Yeah, I'm sure it won't help.
That's a long way.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to wait till the summer.
The summer when it's 40 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
TC's Auto Detailing. Hey, Matt, I remember when you made the video testing the Active 2.0 as a dual setup.
Mm-hmm.
One was always running.
Mm-hmm.
But I watched a video where someone used a check valve and it worked with two Ryobi 1800s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Interesting. That's what we'd assume, that it may work, but the question is how long, with having do you end up causing problems?
Neil White says, hey, Matt, I purchased a coffee cup, among other things, for the giveaway. Not to be rude, but could you please sell a coffee cup for people who are taller than a hobbit?
Isn't that like some fancy cup that like is the standard? And I don't frickin' know anything about that crap.
No. Let's see. Did you watch the Project Farm video on YouTube or T-shirt merch quality?
No. That would be pretty
cool.
cool.
If you made it in the video.
Yeah, we should have.
Water Slug wants to know, are you still using OG tire dressing?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. See this. That's a pretty good idea. That's a good video.
Yeah.
Bunch of junk.
Buy like 20 of them and see who has a decent one.
Yeah.
Let's see. Divine Crimson Thunder says, why do so many homes have a 20 by 20 two-car garage?
Yeah, because they're designed by people who don't know anything about anything.
Brian says, I just activated my membership and ordered an M18 inflator. That's a good choice. And
yeah, here you go. That's funny.
All right, he's putting that in the playlist for later. Or he might just watch the whole thing right now. I wonder if we made it in there. That'd be cool.
No, we definitely didn't.
No. I just activated my membership, ordered an M18 inflator, and Active Ultimate portable solution.
Nice.
Right. I think you like that. Anthony says Moen has lifetime warranty on faucets. They do have cheapo ones, but they also have very nice ones.
Yeah, who cares about lifetime warranties on stuff like that? It lasts a lifetime already, and if it breaks, just buy another one. It's like $200, and it's going to break in like 23 years. I don't know. I just don't like that. I would never take advantage of that.
Chosen One says the Atlanta Garage person wasn't a giveaway winner, was he?
No.
Greg says racing makes amazing stuff. There's a reason they're expensive.
Mm-hmm.
A weighted shift knob can transform shifting. It's one of my favorite mods.
Yep.
Colin Campbell, one of the guys who just joined today here. What's the ultimate wireless solution for subwoofers? Is it still the device you recommend some time ago, or has there been any updates on that?
No, I mean, it's a pretty simple thing to have. The SVS Tri-Band is probably the best. I believe that one will pass down to 12 hertz. So the only thing you got to be careful of is some of them will cut it. They won't pass full frequency, so they'll cut it off at like 24 hertz or 26 hertz. And if you have a subwoofer that'll play down to 16 or 10, you'll miss out on something. But yeah, the regular SVS is fine. That's what I'm going to use in my living room at Middleton. But then there's the Tri-Band that's I think $100 more if you had some real difficult. Like a lot of interference in a room or a bunch of metal or something like that.
MWF80 wants to know which phone case is that? It looks sick.
It's the Verve Moda, and so I bought two of them when I bought them, and it only makes it about 2 months. The Alcantara from Verve Moda. It's really nice, but I ditched the edges get jacked, and then I tried cleaning it. It doesn't clean very well, so. You need to buy a new one, and I'm pretty careful with my stuff, but you would need to buy a new one every couple of months.
Ben Finner says, I took a year off employment to complete my 13-year backlog to-do list. He's the one who asked last week about he's a software developer guy. Mm-hmm. Would that sound reasonable to explain in a future job interview or no?
Oh, for sure. I think that would tell a lot to a potential employer that you were smart enough to be able to do that. You saved enough money, you made enough money, you were successful enough to be able to do something like that. I would think that would give you a leg up over most people.
That's impressive. Functional Garage says, hey, Matt, I was wondering what's your opinion on Atom Audio Studio monitors?
I've never spent any time with them, but I think they I don't remember if they had a dome tweeter or not, but I think they were primarily horn or compression drivers, which means I'm not going to like them very much.
Progression Decibel says, "Hey Matt, I'm going through inventory of product I still have. I still have some Angel X Vision left. Do you still recommend use cases for it? Otherwise, I'm going to use the rest up and just maintain invisible glass."
Yeah, I think with touchless. Now, I haven't used touchless on a real nasty, glass setup. The only reason I liked the Vision, I had a small bottle of it in my arsenal, was because it's a freaking sledgehammer. It's ammonia-based and nasty.
Don't smell it.
Yeah.
Big whiff.
Oh, that's right. Adam uses a ribbon tweeter, which usually tends to be brighter. Adam Audio. But I don't know. I've never heard them, so they might be great.
Dylan wants to know, "Hey Matt, do you know where I could get high quality /OEM wire for automotive harness repairs and audio installs?"
No, I don't know. Yeah, don't know.
Chris Racer wants to know, "Would you ever consider a fully automated home like the one from What's Inside Family? Like auto lighting ambience control?"
No. That's all hot garbage. Doesn't frickin' work for squat. No. You don't want that. I was just talking about that. We're going to make a video on this here next week. I don't want my freaking pool pump having to talk to my thermostat, having to talk to my Amazon Alexa. Take your Amazon Alexa, punt it in the trash, get it out of your house. It's listening to you anyway. I want lighting control. I want my lighting control to be good. I want distributed audio, and that's it. Set your freaking thermostat at 73 and leave it alone. I don't need to mess with it. I don't need app access to it. I don't need any information about it. What do you need that for? So occasionally I'll ask Siri to turn my home theater lights off because I'm too lazy to get up and turn them off. But I just don't find the need for everything to communicate. I don't need my toaster talking to my oven. I don't need it connected. And I don't want it connected. So lighting control, you want Lutron, and you want to keep it simple. Set some scenes. I want a home and away. I want to be able to walk outside and hit away when I walk out and have all my lights turn off. I want a few motion sensors. Like in my kids' rooms, I find it's nice to have a motion sensor, so it'll turn the light off if it hasn't seen any activity in there, in like the closet and the bathroom, in those areas. Same thing with the guest room, because I found the lights were on all the time, and so I set the motion sensors in there so it'll turn it off when no one's in there. But I don't. That's all luxury stuff that you really don't need. But yeah, no, having full automation is just a frickin' nightmare. When you start getting into that automated stuff, unless you can write, if you're a dealer and you get access to the software, maybe, and you learn how to write the software for it. But generally speaking, I don't want any of that crap.
Related to the house, JR wants to know, have you played around with 4000K lights inside a house? I think they do a nice job of blending grays and browns and are underappreciated.
Yeah, I mean, you can go to 4K. I just think it gets a little too harsh for me. But 4K does work, especially higher-end 4K that's accurate. It's not as yellow or as blue as a cheap 4K can be. But I think when you go 4K, I think it just gets a little bit too office feeling for me. But you can certainly do it. So I could see why some might prefer it.
Got a couple super chats here. One from the Hundle Legal Group, LLP, $4.99, but no question attached. And then one from Sean Rodriguez, $4.99. If I win the giveaway, can we do I think he means rogue setup instead of a lift or something like that? I don't do much work besides basic maintenance and wash.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I have a lot of input on that. We could definitely do that.
Yeah, you get a lot for
sure.
That price. Let's see.
That'd be really cool.
Matt, for those of us not on Facebook, do you plan to put more of your overstock of tools, product, etc. you've been offloading on the OG website under openbox/clearance?
Maybe.
Jorge, or George, says, how's the Weber salt grinder with Baja Gold salt? I haven't found a grinder yet that works decent with that salt.
It doesn't work at all. Freaking salt is terrible for the grinder. It's like too wet. I don't know why. it's like too aerated and wet. I don't know. It doesn't work for squat. So I always just pinch the stuff, and you have to really pinch it. It's delicious salt, though.
Speaking of that, I looked up to see how many salt and pepper grinders we've sold.
Yeah, I just looked at it. It's like 12.
Oh, yep.
I didn't know we're only making 5%. Who negotiated that deal?
Not me.
Yeah. 5.13%.
I don't know if that number's right or not, but yeah. So we sold 12 of them. Though,
yeah, and made $300. It's $600 a piece. We're making $30.
$30, yeah.
I've done a lot of work to promote these darn things. They're amazing, but gosh, you call that company and get me like 30% margin or something.
Let's see. Biggest volume-wise is the digital entry. 2,379 separate orders of that. Next biggest is actually this. The automotive fragrances. 404 purchases.
Nice.
Of either the big one or the small one. Then a ton of hats. You guys did a great job selling hats.
And you're saying that giveaway or membership entry is not in there?
Correct. The Inside the Hex is not included here because a lot of that is not directly related.
Do the people who were in auto renew, they get entries as well?
Yep.
Got it. So if they just so happen to auto renew in these 2 months, then they could win.
Yep. They could win and not even realize they had entered, basically.
Nice.
So that'd be kind of cool. 313 hats, 260 of the valve stem caps.
Nice.
That's pretty sweet. So yeah, that number I'm sure will go up over the next 24 hours or so. But yeah, 12 people bought those salt and pepper grinders. Good for them. Emery says, thanks for bringing the LE T4000. It works amazing. Additionally, changing the grease makes it even smoother.
Oh, yeah, I bet. Yep.
Is an LE 3-inch coming soon? Question mark.
At some point, but I don't know if soon, but yes.
Anthony says, are there any ways or plans to link or give a code to sign up for Inside the Hex on YouTube if you already have it on the website?
No, there's no way for us to do that. That's the problem. So it's clunky, I know, but yeah, you have to do either one or the other.
All right, Negron24 says, what's up, guys? Here's a question for you. Do I use different tips for rinsing before soaping to get dust and surface clear, and different more water volume tip to rinse off the soap?
No. You just use the 40 degree at the proper orifice size and just stick with it. I don't advocate switching out. And most pressure washers don't have a lot of leeway difference anyway. You need to use the proper orifice size. You can end up damaging the pump. This is why most of the active 2.0s are out there, with problems, because most idiots selling them don't know how this whole thing works. They don't know anything about it. I was yelling at Anthony at the rag company. They're like, yeah, we're coming out with a pressure washer gun, and we're going to sell it with just 2 orifices. I'm like, how are you going to do that? You need all the orifice. You need all the different sizes. You need to know which pressure washer needs which one. You can't just put whatever orifice on a pressure washer you want because you think it's okay. You can't just shoot from the hip. You actually have to know what size it needs. Otherwise, you're going to blow the darn thing up. And so that's half of the problems of, the pressure washers that exist, the cheap ones, is that people are using the wrong size nozzles on them and overamping them, blowing the darn thing up.
Hundle Legal Group, LLP, who had the super chat with no question, just chimed in to say, I switched to touchless and DI for regular weekly washes. It's a complete game changer for me. Yeah,
that's what I've been doing, just actually doing a touchless wash, not touching the car. It's freaking sweet.
Let's see. Dylan says, I just watched a video of you driving a B9 S4 in the mountains a few years ago. I'm in my mid-20s, looking to purchase a B8.5 or B9 S4 and wanted to get your thoughts.
Yeah. It's one of those cars you'll have for a year or so and love looking at it, but not love driving it. They're just super, super understeery, very nose heavy. So it has driving engagement issues, but great looking car. They can sound pretty cool with a decent exhaust and intake. You put a pulley on it, you can make tons of power with a tune. It's just that the driving experience is muted in those cars. The steering feel and how you feel behind the wheel is not super exciting. But one of some of the best looking cars ever. Great wheels. They've got stock wheels are great. The cars sound pretty cool. It's just that difficulty of dealing with this it's not a sports car. It's a semi-sporty sedan. And so if you go into it knowing that, and then if you're up north and you have some, you're in a place where it snows, it can be really a useful year-round vehicle. But I found that I had an S4, I had an A4, and I'll probably never get another Audi. So if that tells you anything, just know what you're getting into. I don't regret it. I had the car for 3 years. It's great. But I actually sold it early. I think I sold it in 30 months or something on a 39-month lease. And I sold it early just because it was bored to death.
James says, "Hey Matt, what's a good DAC that has HDMI ARC for not $1,000 bucks?" Thanks.
Well, the Node has it. So the Node has HDMI ARC. I believe the Node Nano for $300 that's coming out will have it as well.
Sonny has a question. I'm not sure if he's referring to the new house or what here, but maybe you do. Okay. What's the process of covering the theater room window? Will it still look like a window outside? Will you be able to see the drywall from the outside?
So we'll black it out. You just generally put you can either paint the window, which I won't do. We'll probably just do a black, you just staple in some black fabric. And then that window is not super transparent anyway because of the angle and how high it is. So I would probably leave the window treatment in there and put some black fabric, and then you just drywall over it. Is what I'll do. I'm trying to think of when I did that. I've done that before. Oh, we did it in Helen House. We just painted the window black because it's 30 feet up.
We got some comments here on your skateboarding adventures.
Okay.
Chosen One says Matt is going to break his ankle. Someone get him a helmet. The Devil's in the Detail says kickflip a grit guard bucket dolly.
Yeah.
Haulers must know we have Vans shoes and Carhartt cargo pants going with that skateboard.
No, I hate Vans. I've never had Vans. I never liked Vans. I maybe had one pair ever. I've been getting into New Balance and Adidas. Shopping some. I bought some Adidas when I was at the skate shop. So, and then I've got some Nike SBs on right now. But I found the Nike SBs, they're not great.
Also, he wants to know if you'll be listening to Limp Bizkit while you skate.
Limp Bizkit? That's not a skate. No. I'll be listening to Op Ivy, Rancid.
Don't forget Jinko Jeans, says the Devil.
Minor Threat. What else will I be listening to? NoFX. Pennywise. What else? All the stuff Tim listens to. Yeah.
Stephen Kokazi wants to know: have you done an NFL fantasy team this year? If so,
no,
who do you have?
I'm not a nerd. No, I don't do fantasy.
Power Man wants to know: is racing going out of business? They appear to be reducing their stock lately.
No, they are focused on overlanding. So he's been building out that overlanding company.
Then he also says, thanks for the recommendation, by the way. Jarrett was nice to work with. I love my titanium Spitfire nuts.
Nice. Yep.
Angela says, I wish Apple still made their leather cases. Spencer wants to know, if I win, would Matt want to come to the Dakotas when it's -50 with wind chill or 90 degrees? We'll also have to have him try Chislick. What's that?
I don't know.
Might be some Dakota weird food thing. Do you think the Blue Sound Pulse speakers would work well with the Blue Sound Node or Power Node?
Well, the Pulse M's are self-powered, so you don't need any of that. It basically has a node built into it. So yeah, you don't need a node for a Pulse.
All right, Chislick is South Dakota's iconic dish: small cubes of meat on a skewer. Usually lamb or mutton, but can also be venison, beef, goat, or other game meats. There you go.
Yeah, interesting.
Andrew wants to know, hey Matt, are you going to try out the Blue Sound Pulse Soundbar Plus?
Yeah, I've just sold it. It's not very good. You know, I mean, it's okay, but I would much rather have the Sennheiser, even the entry level Sennheiser soundbar, just so much better. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. I've had like 5 of them, and I just sold my last one the other day to somebody when I was on the vlog, the Middleton vlog. So yeah, not ideal.
Angelo is curious to hear your thoughts on the N54.
Oh, it's the worst engine ever. I hate that engine. That's the 3 Series engine that people love. It's junk.
The fart machine?
No, that's the S55. The N54 is just a problem machine. It's a drive around with a laptop on your front seat machine. Not what I'm looking for. A high pressure fuel pump disaster machine.
TC's Auto Detailing has a couple questions for you. Number 1, does an electric pressure washer run up hours while idling or only when you squeeze the trigger?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you're idling, it's building up heat and beating the darn thing up. That's why, generally speaking, you don't want to leave it sitting there and bypass for too long. You would want, hopefully, you'd have a pressure switch on it, or it has a time delay. That's why, like, the big Krenslers have a time delay, where it runs for 30 seconds and turns off, so it's not just sitting there heating up the head. It's just not good for check valves, not good for the plungers, not good for the oil, not good for anything.
He also asks, will ceramic spray coatings or graphene spray coatings harden the towels after it dries? Are those towels reusable?
Well, I mean, that's why the rag company and P&S developed rags to riches. So if you get it soaking in that quickly, it'll help the towel build up over time. But yeah, I mean, if you're using silicon dioxide based or some sort of spray sealant, over time your towel is going to become hydrophobic and useless. It's just that if you wash it in rags to riches, you might get a few more months out of it. But you would resign the fact that that product is eventually going to make the towel hydrophobic and not useful anymore.
Tyler Richardson is looking for a place to live in Central Florida.
Okay.
Any suggestions for a safe area for a family of 4?
Winter Garden, Windermere, Lake Nona, Winter Park. Where else? Heathrow. These are all the rich areas I'm talking about, right? Oviedo.
Middleton.
Yeah. Or you can move out of Orlando. You can go, Claremont. Claremont's nice. Groveland. It's kind of up and coming. Ocala. If you go up north, you can go to Ocala. Anywhere up here, is going to be less traffic, safer. If you come up north or you go south.
Yeah, Tommy and Manny seem like Mount Dora.
That's Mount Dora.
There's all kinds of good spots.
Yeah. I mean, there really aren't too many bad spots to go to. I wouldn't move to Ocoee anymore. You would go to Winter Garden instead. But like Winter Garden, Windermere, those places are really stacked up now. Tons of traffic. Gotha. I like West Orlando more than East Orlando. It just seems more. I would say East Orlando is less transplant, more old Orlando, whereas like College Park and Winter Park, and I just never liked those areas as much as I like the west side of town.
Felix B says, I just got my first truck, an F-150.
Nice.
I put Geon Synchro on it and really enjoy the ease of wash and the look so far.
Mm-hmm.
How would you set up to easily wash your truck once every 2 weeks? Any particular product or tools that would help?
Well, a nice bucket package, having a bucket filler, having a on-wall pressure washer with the hose reel on the wall will make you more apt to go out and wash it, because you don't have to roll the thing out, put it on the driveway, deal with the hose, deal with the power cord, all that kind of stuff. So the biggest change in user experience for washing a truck especially would be a 6-gallon bucket and a great on-wall pressure washing system. Those would be the 2 major things that I would want to do.
All right, let's see. Matt, how long would you recommend leaving coated PPF on a vehicle that lives outdoors and has a car cover on and off it?
I mean, it depends on where you live. I would probably err on the side of every 3 years. You'd replace it. depending on how many miles you're driving. It's just case dependent, depending on what the weather's like there, how often you're driving it, how peppered it gets, how contaminated it gets. Remember that when you're putting the car cover over it, you're kind of scratching up your PPF a bit. So you keep that stuff in mind.
Timon says, hey, Matt, I have a home theater question for you. Are there any plans to sell the package you installed at the LZ project as a solution, referring to the PSB speakers?
I think so. I mean, I'm putting a very similar version of that setup in my family room in Middleton, so I'm going to be installing that the next week or so. Yeah, I mean, I think it's possible. We're going to be testing all kinds of stuff, and I'm gonna, once I get it set up, I'm gonna have Michael and Rusty come listen to it and see if I'm crazy. But I really enjoyed it enough that I'm buying it for myself. So I'm doing PWM 3s, 5-channel PWM 3s, so center, left, right, and then my side surround, so 5-channel PWM 3. CS610s, which are the in-ceiling speaker for Atmos, so it's going to be 5-channel surround, 4 height channels, and then I'm doing 4 of the new Imagine subwoofers, the BP, I forget the model, BP8 or something. I think it's BP8. So I'm doing 4 of those, 2 in the front, 2 in the rear, 2 behind the couch, and I'm going to use like I said, I'm going to use the SVS wireless thingy on it on the subwoofers, and I have a lamp powered spot underneath the couch, and so I'll be able to plug them in and then just do it wirelessly. And I'll probably transition from the NAD T778 to like a Cinema 30 or 40 from Rant, because they have 4 discrete subwoofer outputs. So when we do their room correction, I forget what Marantz is using. I think they're using ARC. Or what are they using? Odyssey. I think it's Odyssey room correction. I'll be able to tune the subwoofers independently.
Alan T says, hey guys, I'm curious. Have you ever used the 3D products at all? I've been testing out Beat It Up. Seems like a Beadmaker replacement. Is Beadmaker still the king in a hydrophobic post-wash / drying aid?
Well, 3D bought PNS. So, or the parent company that owns 3D now owns PNS. So maybe it is Beadmaker. I don't know. Yeah, 3D stuff always. I mean, I've tried a bunch of their polishes, and it always just seems a little on the jank side. Just nothing really ever was inspiring. Or anytime anybody told me it was a game changer, I'd bought some of the 3D stuff, and it's just nothing ever really supplanted or took over or was better than what I was using elsewhere.
All right, so Dylan, who was asking about that wire earlier, Eric responded and said, you want TXL wire. I highly recommend buying it at ProWire USA. TXL is what many OEMs use now, as it's durable, small diameter insulation, and heat resistant to 125 degrees Celsius.
Interesting. I never heard of that. TXL wire?
TXL from ProWire USA. Matt, CJ wants to know, what's your opinion of kitchen island cabinets that are a different color than the rest of the kitchen?
I like that.
He says, I want a larger island, but I won't be able to match my existing cabinets.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, we chose it. And you see it really commonly in a lot of interior design. So I'm a big fan. TXL wire by
ProWire USA.
Sounds janky.
Luke says, I recently placed an order with you guys to get stocked up on a bunch of stuff, including getting a Krenslip.
Oh, that's TXL wire for the harness replacement, not the by-wire speaker. Okay, no. That makes sense. Okay, all right.
Luke, I recently placed an order with you guys to get stocked up on a bunch of stuff, including getting a Krenslip 1322 TS.
Nice.
This thing is amazing and much quieter than I expected. I'm very happy.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
C5 wants to know, could you remind me where you landed on bedding and sheets?
Funny you just asked that. I had spent last night several hours, because now I have the Beauty Rest Black Series 4 Summit Plush Pillow Top. And so it's like 18.25 inches tall. And so nothing frickin' fits on it. Front gate sheets don't fit. The Piale sheets that I have don't fit. The Effortless bedding kind of fits, but they stopped making it. Apparently, it's still out of stock. And so I found 3 companies that I just ordered. So I ordered 3 different sets of sheets. Let me pull it up for you guys so you can go look it up. Now, I don't know if they're any good. One was from Cozy Earth.
Mm-hmm.
The other was from the company store. So Cozy Earth, these are bamboo sheets.
That's what
so
I
they're
have,
bamboo sheet set, which accommodate up to 20 inches. Then I ordered the company store. The company stores, what do they call theirs? Legends Hotel Premium Smooth Supima Cotton Wrinkle-Free Sateen Deep Pocket sheet. And then I ordered Egyptian Linens, their oversized 22-inch deep pockets. Now, those are promising because they have the strap.
That'll hold it there.
Yeah, I'm going to test these 3 out. There were 2 other ones. One was from like Sateen X or something like that. And then there was another set of the bamboo sheets that I might try. So there were 5 total that I'd narrowed it down to.
Apex suggested this Koyuchi. That's what I looked up here.
Yeah, but do they make ones that are 18 inches deep? That's the thing.
And then C5 actually says here, it's funny you mentioned that. We also have an 18-inch mattress.
Yeah.
That's a tall mattress.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Hey, Matt, Tyron here. I watched the recent video with Rag Company.
Yep.
What is considered a basic set of towels for basic wash, dry, window, and tire? Can you give a brief description?
Basic to me would you'd have a single drying towel. So I would probably do the gauntlets. You know, want like 4 to 6 of those. I would really want the wheel towel as well. So 4 to 6 of those as well. So the little 12 by 12. So you have your gauntlet for drying. You have your waffle weave for cleaning glass. And, I mean, that's all you really need, to be honest with you. I mean, if you had those 2 towels, you could do a lot.
Good.
Those 3 towels, you could do a lot with it.
And then Mike G says that white FTW sure sounds nice.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun.
Our buddy Brad Hone out west agrees with you on Minor Threat. Minor Threat? Heck yes. Play some here soon.
It's pretty rough. Like I went and listened to it the other day. It's a little harsh. I like Operation Ivy better. They both only have like 2 albums, you know. I think Op Ivy might have more now, but
Mike G says, "Did you ever see the Autofiber suede block? It might be what you're looking for."
Yeah, it's terrible. I bought it.
Progression Decibel, also a big fan of Minor Threat. Also among his faves, Snapcase and At the Drive-In.
I don't know either one of those, no.
Shrez guy, our buddy out in Germany, says, "Greetings to you two. I'm currently driving to the, I never know how to pronounce this, Nürburgring?
Yep.
For an awesome weekend. Won't miss your podcast. Also relaxing while driving." Hey.
Minor Threat has 1, 2, 3, 4 albums. Huh.
Excellent, Shrez guy. Well, have fun out there.
I didn't know that.
Sounds like a fun
I only
weekend.
had maybe I had 2 of them. 1980, 1984, 85, 2003, 2023. The heck?
Come back.
Yeah.
Devil's in the Detail says, "The man knows his punk rock. The real punk rock."
Yeah, my favorite band was always Rancid. Before Rancid was cool. So I was listening to Green Day and Rancid. Oh, the Circle Jerks, Mighty Mighty Boss Tones would be ska, but before you dorks knew about it, we were
your sister.
Before my sister got the Green Day Dookie album ruined it all for me.
That's funny. I remember that story.
Yeah, Offspring was also cool too for a little while, you know, and then they became mainstream. Yeah,
all right.
Green Day was. Let's see here. So we got.
Who's coming? Somebody's coming to the village. I'll have to look that up. Somebody's coming to the villages. It sounds like that. Emery. That's when you know you're getting old, when the bands you like start coming to the villages, I think.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah. Kerplunk, 92.
Plunk.
That was pre-Dookie. Dookie was 94.
Also.
Yeah, 1039 Smooth Out Slappy Hours. That was the first album. That was great.
We just added a new member. Who's that? Kip Peeler. Thanks.
Wow,
Kip.
this is great.
Oh, that's kind of
How
cool.
many members we got now? 8? 10? This is awesome.
I have to look that up.
My goal was to have 1,000 members by the end of
Okay.
the year on YouTube.
Emery wants to know, Matt, what are your top 4 polishing machines? He says for life, but I'm thinking he just means say if you had to
Top
choose
4.
4. I know
Nano,
number 1.
Nano long neck,
Okay, that wasn't what I thought you'd say.
Mirka.
Yep.
Right now, Milwaukee cordless.
Okay.
And then that's all we really need. 3.
There
3
you go.
machines do everything you need them to do. And then the wild card is the LHR 75 pneumatic from Rupes, but you got to have a pretty stout air compressor for that.
All right, Dustin says, hey, Matt, is there a simple good, better, best answer to which gas grills I should be looking at? Going to go back through some of the outdoor videos, but I'd love a quick answer if you have one. Good,
So
better, best.
there's the 3 best grills brands are Twin Eagles, Heston, Alfresco. I always get it wrong. Yeah, Alfresco. Those are the 3, top 3. They're all in that same ballpark. Next tier down, DCS, which I think is now Fisker Peichel. I believe owns DCS. You have DCS, Lynx, in that kind of mid-tier. And then from there, you go down to like Blaze, Barbecue Guys, the kind of entry-level stuff. High American-made Weber, those kind of grills. I don't know as much about those, but there's Chinese Weber and there's American-made Weber. So there's $800 to $1,000, $1,500 Weber, and then there's the $200 Weber. So we call that Sweber, the Swebers. But that darn Sweber was great. The one we bought for LZs and left it there. Yeah, I think that you want to try to get to that mid tier if you can. That DCS, Wolf, Lynx, if you can get up there. Another grill brand. Actually, what I would probably buy is an Artisan grill, which is a Alfresco's entry level line. I can get you one of those if you want. So they're like a decent 36-inch, I think like $3,500, $4,000, something like that. Whereas the Alfresco's $8,000. I think it's Artisan. Yeah, Artisan is the $3,700. That's legit. Like a 36-inch Artisan is what I would buy if I was in that mid tier. I just like the Alfresco stuff is just awesome. So that's their mid tier line. Heston's great. Heston and Alfresco are my favorite. I think the Twin Eagles looks a little funny.
Greg has a question going back to that CSL XO. How long should I wait to apply a second coat of XO?
Well, if you're doing XOV5, you don't need a second coat. Don't do a second coat. But if you're going to do it, at least 3 hours, I think is what they suggest.
Here's an easy answer for you. Progression Decibel. Matt, besides a nice, elegant wired blue sound or Dynaudio solution, if I wanted something decent wirelessly, what are your thoughts on Sonos or don't even waste my time?
God, no. That's where you do Pulse M's. Do Pulse M's, Pulse Flex, Pulse. So stay in the blue sound architecture. Stay away from the frickin' Sonos junk. You do pulses, or you would do nodes and power nodes and your own speaker setups. But yeah, you don't want that. You could also do PSB has a great set of Blue OS and capable Alpha IQs. They just don't have a whole lot of amplitude, but the Alpha IQs are pretty sweet as well, where it has everything built in and integrated.
Hundo Legal Group. Hey, Matt, during the process of moving offices last week, I found a set of PSB AM5s
Nice.
that I bought off you back in 2022 on a fire sale from Curtis's Garage.
Nice.
I'll finally give them a try this weekend.
Yeah, they're good.
Hey, Matt, will I be able to run just one PSB on-wall speaker, such as a PWM2 or PWM3 with a power node and subwoofer?
Yes. Yeah, you could do that. Let's see. I don't believe the PWM3s have stereo capability. Let me see. That's a good question. So you'd be in mono. Let me just look at that. Let me confirm that. So the PSP on wall.
While you're doing that here,
Sound balance.
Tim Riggin says, "Hey Matt, your Harbor Hills house has been on the market since March. Multiple price drops, with the current price being far under what you sold it for.
It's trashed.
Looks like you sold it at a great time."
They freaking ruined it. The whole inside is just gross. All the carpet needs to be replaced. All the walls need to be repainted. All the doors, half the doors need to be taken off and redone. It's not good. Not ideal. Yeah, the PWM3, I believe, is just a single input. I don't think it has. I can't remember if it was bi-ampable, meaning you could do a left and right channel, because it only has a single tweeter, so you couldn't do that. I mean, it would work. It just wouldn't be ideal, because you'd have a mono signal.
Johnny Ruiz wants to know, "Hey Matt, what kind of lighting do you recommend for a 2-car garage?"
If you can swing it, I would do the OG Cree solution, and I would want, so a 2-car garage, I'd want 3 rows of probably 2 8-foot fixtures, right? So you'd have 3 rows of 2, so 6 in total, 12,000 lumens. So your 355 times 6, $2,000.
We have some suggestions for you for your skateboarding playlist here.
Okay, yeah.
No FX.
Yep, for sure.
And 311.
Drunk in Public, right?
I like
Punk in
311.
Public.
Yeah.
311 was a little too.
fan?
That was for you, for posers.
Yeah, I did not skate.
I don't mind 311,
yeah.
But 311 wasn't very cool.
Nick Exum.
It was too mainstream. Papa Roach and 311 and all those guys. Limp Bizkit. Limp Bizkit was also a little afterwards. So Limp Bizkit was 98, 99. So I was in college by then. I was on to Wu-Tang and Junior Mafia.
You'd come out of this
Notorious B.I.G., Redman.
Have you seen Fred Durst lately, by the way?
Uh-uh.
Oh, you gotta see this.
He's looking good.
You gotta see.
It's all white-haired.
Yeah, white-haired, like
good.
an afro.
That's cool.
He's an interesting dude. How about MXPX?
No, I think Joe listened to MXPX, but I wasn't into them.
Dead Kennedys?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
All right.
I was very specific. The Ramones, I was a big Ramones fan.
Ramones? Sex Pistols?
Sex Pistols for sure. Yeah, huge fan. But those were before my time. They just became cool again. Who else? I'm trying to think of Bad Religion.
Okay.
That was another one. Let's see, 90s punk bands. 90s punk.
Angela wants to know, when is the version 2 of the LE Polisher coming out?
It's on the way, isn't it?
Yep, it's on the water, on the way here. Ben wants to know, are the open positions at OG filling up? Have you gotten some good candidates?
I don't know. Have we?
Yep.
I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Screeching Weasel. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
That's funny.
Yeah. What else do we got here?
Have you tried Coyote grills?
Who's Coyote? I think Coyote is Twin Eagles. They're not bad. It's one of the big brands, their entry-level line, if I remember correctly. There's Pennywise, Newfound Glory. Let's see. Yellow Card came later, but I was a big Yellow Card fan.
There's old Fred now.
Yeah. The Queers. Yeah, the Queers were good. Misfits. Rise Against came later. What else do we have?
Cypress Hill, MX3.
No, I didn't really like them. The everybody in my neighborhood did though. We had the Skaters, and then the Deadheads.
Okay.
Right, so they were all into Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, the Grateful Dead. They all wore leather jackets and stuff, and so you had the stoner Deadhead kids versus the Skater kids. And so me and Marvin and Andy and Joe were on one team, and then you had the Deadheads, which was let's see, Lou and what was his name, Alex Memis. I think they're both dead.
You chose the
Andy
right side,
Katz,
sounds like.
yeah, April. So they were all like the smoking stoner huffing. At one point, they were huffing gas and and Farmer's iced tea cartons and stuff. They're just, but we were always like at the edge of war. Yeah,
Man.
that was our neighborhood.
Cypress
on
Hill,
the school
Beastie
bus.
Boys, the Gorillas.
Yeah,
Dropkick
that's
Murphys.
what all they listened to, all that stuff. I didn't like that.
Oh,
Harry was he was the jock, tough guy in the neighborhood, so he wasn't a part of either. He would kind of moonlight between each crowds, but he was a big Cypress Hill guy. Yeah.
Breaking Benjamin.
Yeah, Breaking Benjamin's 2000s, so I'm talking 93 to 99 was the heyday.
Sure.
Around 96, 7 is when I started to add rap into the equation and stop listening to punk.
Ben wants to know, do you wish BMW made the S65 a flat plane V8, or do you care?
No, the crossplane's fine. Whatever they did to the S65 is amazing, so I'm happy the way it is.
Here we go. Here's you like this from Dustin. I know how you feel about the way the G80 M3s look, but I'm a big fan personally. I just bought the giveaway shift knob to put on my desk as some motivation until I can responsibly buy one.
Nice.
LOL.
Nice.
You raved over those knobs last week, which sold me. Thanks, Dustin.
It's freaking good. I mean, if he has it on his desk, he knows. He'll probably never take it off the desk. It's so good. It's a great paperweight.
Hey, Matt, any recommendations for a power over Ethernet security camera system?
I mean, you could head the Ubiquiti route. What's the big company? I think it's Avigilon. But I don't know jack about cameras.
Is Matt doing it for the Nookie? Dustin wants to know. Yes. Matt, the website is still showing 8 to 12 week shipping on the Cree LS series linear light fixtures.
I'm working on it. I was yelling at them the other day. I was ready to fire them.
Well, he says, I know you read them the Riot Act. When can we expect to see the shipping times decreased?
Early next year.
Yeah, we'll make sure people are aware, but we want to make sure that it's actually legit. We have that.
Yeah.
But
the CR6s are not discontinued, so order away. They're freaking awesome.
LA Spaceboy says, I'd still buy the Lady Lake house. Much better bang for the buck than houses here in greater Los Angeles.
Yeah, I was just
Very
there.
true. Yeah,
it's so sad. You guys pay so much money, and all the roads are falling apart. There's just weeds growing out of the sidewalks. There's freaking trash everywhere. It's so unbelievably dysfunctional. Now, on Newport Beach, they're talking about the guys are like, yeah, they take the homeless by the throat and throw them out of the town. They don't let them. They don't mess around there. So some towns they have their crap together.
We spent some time at Hermosa Beach a while back. We really like that.
Yeah, it's just south.
Yeah. Sleater Keeney, excuse me. You heard of them? Sleater Keeney?
No.
Do you ever watch videos by Golden Eagle Builders in Wisconsin? Palos Rob wants to know.
No, I don't think so.
The one who shall remain nameless says, coming in late, did y'all already talk about the fragrances and air fresheners? No, we just referenced them briefly, but this is the leather and pine scent.
Yep. It's so good.
Which...
Yeah. Let me stink up the room here.
It smells better than it currently does. Yeah, that is pretty nice.
It's good.
Gotta admit.
Leather and pine was my concoction. I said, well, I like the leather and I like the pine. Can we put them together? And that's the scent of Helen.
Yeah. So this is a 4-ounce little spray bottle.
It's still
16 ounces.
I mean, you spray it on a sponge, it'll last a day or so. You have to really commit to it.
You got to maintain.
But it, unlike the griots, which would last about 10 minutes, you get a little time out of it.
Rage Against the Machine.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hey Matt, besides the automated lighting and audio solutions, kind of appropriate, you recommend smart garage door openers. Does LiftMaster make a good one?
No, because you have to do their stupid light, otherwise it doesn't work. And so, yeah, I don't have one on mine. It doesn't work. You have to take like the LiftMaster 8500, you have to use their little pocket light in order to get the Wi-Fi's built into that. And so I don't do that either.
Let's see. Hey Matt, this is from Kevin in the chat. Just curious, are there any Lexus models that you like?
I think about this a lot. everybody's just Toyota crazy, it seems. Everywhere I go, everyone I know is just Toyota crazy. And then I'm like, oh, man, maybe I can get into Toyotas. And they're freaking, I don't know, the motors suck. They're just boring. Everything about the Toyota and Lexus is just boring to me. I like the GX SUV. I think it'd be really cool. But then again, I'm not an SUV kind of guy. So, Toyota's just not for me.
Let's see.
Land Cruisers, I think, are cool. But then you get like some boring V6. Boring interior. But that thing's cool.
It does look pretty nice there.
Yeah.
All right. Our own Tim McLuhan over there says, this talk of old school punk bands is making me want to get my old board back out this weekend.
Let's go skate, Tim. I got to put my board together.
And then Neil says, yeah, but the falling hurts a lot more now.
Yeah, I'm not planning on falling.
Taking Back Sunday?
Nope. I think I've named all of my...
Real Big Fish needs a mention if the Boss Tones did.
I didn't like them. I only like Boss Tones for some reason. But yeah, that was the alternative.
James, our buddy James up in Indiana, says, I ordered some leather for the car. We bought the leather/pine scent last giveaway. For some reason, with the diffusers, it smells like electrical fire every time I get a whiff of it, directly out of the bottle. Yeah, I remember him saying that when he was here.
He's got the messed up scent glands.
Yeah. I love the product discussion meeting with a rag company. It was kind of an inside the mind kind of video. Looking forward to seeing the Obsessed Garage rag company partnership kit.
Yeah.
Fun.
People get so mad at me for making those decisions. Imagine if they saw, like when I was building a ETF portfolio, how much pushback you'd get from people. Like, you don't know what you're doing. Somebody has to make these decisions. Somebody has to do it. I think I'm pretty good at it. Maybe I'm wrong, but sorry.
Invasion HD says, for someone who lives in an area where it gets cold in the winter months, would you recommend ordering OG drying aid during the warmer months? Also, is there still an issue with it separating?
Yeah. So Bead Maker was a bigger issue freezing. I don't know that drying aid has the same issue. But yeah, no, I think that they've gotten it figured out.
What can you use to remove scratches from plastic chrome trim on vehicles?
Ooh, that sounds brutal. I think it's order the new plastic chrome trim. You could try polish just like normal, but I don't know if you're going to be able to get them out.
All right, a couple more things here, then we'll call it a day. What does Matt think of Mike's orange 4Runner? Matt,
I haven't seen it yet.
It was out in the parking lot, I saw.
But he has it all. It's all dialed in, so it looks pretty cool. Goes 0 to 60 in 18 seconds.
We still need to see Mike's purple machine on camera sometime.
You'll be seeing that not next week. The following week, we're going to be doing an alignment video with a really cool system from Colton at CRF, I believe. What's Colton's company called? These things are freaking sweet. Let's see. It is... I got it on my calendar, I think. CSM Performance Alignment System, Colton Miller. So CSM is probably his middle initial.
Local-ish?
No, he's in Indiana, I think. And so he's flying down, and we're going to shoot a whole video series of how to use this precision center lock alignment system in your garage. It's like, I think, $10,000 or $11,000 for the system. You do corner balancing, ride height adjustment, and full precise alignment. And he says it's DIY, and so we're going to do our cars and reset our height because both of our cars are too low, if there is such a thing. And so we're going to set them up and dial in. I'm going to dial in OE alignment on mine.
All right, let's see here. Jim wants to know, can you turn your wheels on Swiss tracks in your garage without issue?
Sure. Yep, not a problem.
Oh, we got a super chat here, $10 at the last second. First ever super chat for Matt Lindsay. If I win the giveaway, can Matt wash my Corvette and minivan while he's here?
We always plan on doing that, doing wash and talks, but then we always run out of time. So if we have time, I could be down.
Yeah, he's washed Corvettes before. All right, last question here from Ben Fenner. Is Matt a room temperature butter on the counter type or a useless cold butter in the fridge type?
I'm a cold butter in the fridge type, but I could be convinced. Mike F is a butter on the counter type.
That's what I do. I like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I really only use butter when I'm cooking eggs and stuff. So I just take it and just slice it and put it in the pan.
You don't need it to be soft.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not eating bread, so I don't need to spread it. But man, it is nice when it's sitting on a counter. But I feel like it gets dirtier that way.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it does.
Unless
you cover it.
It just gets goopy and not as appetizing to me. But I get it.
All right. He says look into a butter bell. Oh, okay.
Huh.
If you want to keep it on the counter.
Interesting.
Then you don't have to worry about it keeping its shape either. You just shove it in there.
Really?
Interesting.
That's cool. Does the bell actually make it? You push? Does it like contour somehow? See, look. Does it stay in the top?
Oh, that's interesting.
So you put it in the top, not the bottom.
That's a good question.
You got to watch some videos on how does a butter bell work.
I don't have a butter bell in my life.
I never heard of this ever. This is a completely new thing.
Thanks,
here.
Ben. And then Brad Hone says, butter on the counter, you need a butter dish with cover.
Yeah, but I don't...
Important topics.
Butter bell in operation.
Who is the
Here you go.
Mormon
How to
of
keep
butter
butter.
bells?
Okay. Got this lady.
Okay.
How to use a butter bell.
It uses water to seal the butter, he says.
And it has this part up here. You spread the butter in here.
Uh-huh.
And then you put it upside down in this container. You have some water down here.
Water?
And then you just place it on here. When you're ready to use the butter from the butter crock, you can even put it on the table, just like so.
Huh.
So
Put water in there?
Yeah.
This is great. I just learned something new.
Yeah, Ben said it uses water to seal the butter.
Huh.
Dustin says they've been around since the frontier days.
I'm sure, yeah.
Preserves the room temperature butter.
God dang it. I'm going to go find what's the best butter bell in the world. There's a butter bell crock?
Yeah, Le Creuset.
Holy cow. This has just changed my whole world.
You can get one in marble.
Oh, my gosh. Then I can get that big, what I always get, that big Amish butter roll thingy, but then it's too much work.
Yeah, so this is the original. The best way to keep butter fresh, delicious and spreadable without refrigeration. So they sell it. Le Creuset makes them. Then, of course, I'm sure you'll find a $700 one.
Oh, my gosh. This is amazing.
Oh, you can get decorative with the bees. That's nice.
Can we get an OG version?
Yeah.
A little hex on there?
If we ever do a giveaway.
I get a little hex on the top. Holy cow. What else do I not know about in this world? It's amazing.
Thanks, Ben. You just opened our eyes. He says, you're welcome.
I'm going to go order
the
one.
The Amish
right
use butter bells. I'm sure that the Amish are doing a lot of things right.
I mean, I understand this has been around forever, but how did I've never seen anybody have one? I've never experienced it. No one's ever told me about this. How has this existed for all these centuries, and I've never seen it in a movie? Never. My goodness.
Now we know. You can hold one full stick of butter. So I guess in there it'll hold a full stick.
Interesting.
Keeps butter at the perfect consistency for.
So you kind of mash it in there once it softens up.
It's dishwasher safe.
I don't use the dishwasher.
It's kept safe from germs or contamination.
That's the
or
water.
Refrigerator odors. Yeah, this is the original one there.
So you put a little bit of water in there.
Does
the water do anything? It just seals it.
Yeah.
Holy cow. I got to watch some videos tonight.
Sale. I'm going to the sale page. All right. Thanks, Ben.
You're going to get the one with the pineapples on it or something.
Wait, whatever's on sale.
Orange and pink or something.
Dustin, that's how Megan knows I bought new shirts. She's like, that was on sale, wasn't it? I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that Matt and Chris are just learning about this. I am, Dustin.
Yeah.
So, can't wait until the next giveaway has an OG butter bell to go with our grinders. Ever been in a Cracker Barrel? They sell them. Yeah, I was in Cracker Barrel last week. I didn't.
Never seen that. Holy crap!
$600 butter bell incoming. Oh man!
All right, people.
Thanks,
we'll
everybody.
See you next week.
Yeah, next week
on the giveaway.
We'll be pulling the winner, right?
Yep. Make sure you get your entries in. See you guys.
See you next week. Sale. Oh yeah, look at that.
You got a little striped one.
Yeah, $27.95.
You got one with some
Gift set. You get
Egyptian hieroglyphs on the side or something. Or some dancing ladies.
antique.
Or you
$24.95.
get one with like this, like Cape Cod.
Oh yeah, I'll wrap that around it.